At Crimson Lights, Audra is surprised to see Kyle drink soy lattes. He likes to mix it up. She knows. They talk about her taking over Nate's position at Newman Media and Nate filling in for Nick. She admires how thoughtful Victoria was in giving her brother leave, but he doesn't think her choice had much to do with love. It sounds to her like he's gone a few rounds with the Newmans. He says collateral damage is just part of the game with them. She admits she's been singed a few times in the past. Working with Tucker taught her to be focused and fight for what she wants. That doesn't mean playing nice. Kyle and Audra walk to Chancellor Park, and she babbles about business. He's excited for her. She's excited too and determined to light Newman Media up every moment she's there. All her talk about coloring outside the lines is inspiring him, and he suggests it would be a good time to live in the now. She doesn't have time for that. She's got a big meeting but lets him put his number in her phone in case she has time later. He's sure she will call. Nikki chases Adam down in the park and tells him she's sorry for his loss. He thanks her for her condolences, but they seem a bit disingenuous. She's sure the emptiness he feels is overwhelming. Adam points out that Sally hates him and blames him. Nikki thinks he was faced with an impossible choice and saved Sally's life. As he lashes out about Nick being a hero and the injustice of the situation, Nikki urges him not to let his anger consume him. She reminds Adam of his son and hopes he hangs on to the fact that there are people who need him. In the office at Newman, Victoria and Nate talk about their less than restful night before going over work. She's looking forward to some big bold business moves and loves how he thinks. It's like talking to herself, but more fun. Victoria suggests Nate take the Babcock meeting this afternoon and the marketing team conference. He notes those are high-profile meetings, and she reminds him he's the interim COO. Victoria is impressed as Nate tells her that he's already done research on Babcock to stay on top of things. To have the power to change things at the company is intoxicating, almost as intoxicating as the way she looks at him. They kiss. Victoria says now that her kids are going away to boarding school, they can take business trips. She assures him it won't be all about work. They will need to absorb local cultures. Nikki walks into the office and asks to speak to her daughter alone. She's not happy to learn Nate is meeting with Babcock alone and wonders if her daughter plans to keep Nick away from Newman permanently. She confronts her about dissolving Nick's support team. Victoria claims it's a fast-paced business and Nate doesn't need the staff. She goes on about how hands-on Nate is. To her mom, it just looks like she's striking out at her brother. Victoria complains that Nick and his team didn't see McCall as a threat, but Nate does. Her mom thinks she's being unnecessarily aggressive and asks if all this retaliation is because Nick warned her about Nate. She thinks this about her failure to listen to Nick's similar warnings about Ashland. Deep down, Victoria must be worried that Nick is right again. Victoria accuses her mother of always throwing Ashland back in her face. Nikki says she's just trying to understand why Victoria's launching a war and reminds the young lady she has a responsibility to the board. Irate, Victoria complains that Nate supports her while everyone else undermines her. Nate returns and Nikki storms out. Victoria tells Nate, if you aren't pissing people off, you're not doing it right. Audra joins them for a meeting. She gives them her ideas, and they are very pleased. Nate is sure that everyone will love her. Once Audra exits, Nate says she's gold. Victoria says she's on top because he put her there. He's very excited for Newman and Newman Media. Victoria is glad they can focus on making McCall a misery for Adam.